Hello, mighty companion. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Facebook Live and A Course in Miracles. This is A Course in Miracles. I teach from A Course in Miracles, and we're going to talk about how to listen to your guide, how to listen to your inner guide, how to listen to the voice for your creator. How do you listen? What is the voice for love? What is the voice for the higher power? And how does it communicate with you? We're going to talk about that. And we're going to start out with our theme song, which is, I am not a victim of the world I see. Here we go.
I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. I'm not a victim of my mom. I'm not a victim of my pa. I'm not a victim of events or circumstance at all. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. 'Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim of the world I see. 'Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see.
Welcome to A Course in Miracles. 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 Welcome to A Course in Correct Perception. That's what a miracle is.
I'm not a victim of the North. I'm not a victim of the South. Not a victim of anything. So what comes out my mouth, I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. 'Cause what's happening now is what I done to me.
And that includes the good stuff.
Help me out now. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see.
You don't have to believe the ideas. 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 You need not believe the ideas. You need not believe the ideas for them to be true.
I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim
Of the world I see.
'Cause what's happening now is what I done to me.
That's Brother John Christmas at johnchristmas.com. If you want to get that music. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Facebook Live, A Course in Miracles. Whew. Are you ready to have the correct perception? Are you ready to have a correct perception? Are you ready to have a perception that gives you peace? Are you ready to have peace of mind? 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 Are you ready to have peace of mind, no worries and no concerns? Are you ready to have peace of mind? Peace of mind. Are you ready to have peace of mind? So what does the Course in Miracles say? You need not believe the ideas that I'm about to give you from A Course in Miracles. You need not believe the ideas that I'm about to give you. You need not accept the ideas that I'm about to give you from A Course in Miracles. You need not accept the ideas that I'm about to give you from A Course in Miracles. You need not even welcome the ideas that I'm about to give you from A Course in Miracles. You don't have to welcome the ideas. You need not welcome the ideas from A Course in Miracles. Do you know, are you aware that some of the ideas you may actively resist, some of the ideas you may actively resist, some of these ideas you may resist, some of these ideas you may resist, some of these ideas. Some of the ideas, do you know that some of the ideas in the Course in Miracles you may find hard to believe? Some of these ideas. You may find some of these ideas in A Course in Miracles that I give you today hard to believe. You may find some of the things I say hard to believe. Some of the ideas that I give you from A Course in Miracles may startle you. Some of the things that A Course in Miracles says may startle you. Some of the things that you hear from A Course in Miracles may startle you. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. It's not about judging the ideas at all. If you want to know if these ideas are true, if you use these ideas will prove to you that they're true, because it's the use of the ideas that will show you that the ideas are true. Analyzing the ideas will not show you that the ideas are true. Analyzing the ideas will not show you that the ideas are true. Giving the ideas your interpretations and your meanings that you learned through something else or that you learned from your past, that's not going to help you necessarily understand A Course in Miracles. If you use the ideas, you will see that the ideas are true. If you use the ideas, you will see that the ideas are true. Did I say if you use the ideas, you'll see that the ideas are true? We're going to be in chapter 5, Healing and Wholeness. And we're going to be talking about how do you hear the voice for your higher power? How do you hear the voice of your inner guidance? How do you hear the right voice? How do you hear the right voice? Okay? So the Course in Miracles, we're going to start in paragraph 8. Paragraph 8. Page 77 in the text, the Foundation for Inner Peace version, the blue book. In the text, we're going to be in chapter 5, and we're going to be in section 2, and we're going to be on we're going to start with paragraph 8, and it's on page 77. I have been studying and teaching A Course in Miracles for over 4 decades, and I'd like to save you some time. The Course in Miracles teaches that the purpose of a relationship should be to save you time, and I want to save you time because the Course in Miracles says we need to get rid of the blocks to our happiness. And so what we're going to do right now is my focus is on hearing what it's saying and remembering the instructions that we're given. My emphasis is on, I'm the divine repetition teacher. I am your remembering coach. Hundreds of times, the Course in Miracles says, don't forget, or it says, remember, don't forget, remember, don't forget. It doesn't say, analyze me. It doesn't say, analyze this. It doesn't say, try to figure this out. It says, remember. So your guidance, your higher power is trying to give you information right now. And I teach in a question and answer format. So, who is the Holy Spirit? What is the Holy Spirit? According to A Course in Miracles, what is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is your guide. You have a guide. You're not here on earth without a guide. You're not in this situation that you're in right now. You're not in the relationship that you're in right now without a guide. So the Holy Spirit is your guide. So another term you could use for the Holy Spirit is your inner guide. Your inner guide. So the Holy Spirit, the Course in Miracles says, is your right mind. It's called right-mindedness. So the Course in Miracles says we have right-mindedness and we have wrong-mindedness. The Holy Spirit is your right-mindedness, and the ego is what the Course would refer to as wrong-mindedness. So the Holy Spirit, who is love is your guide in choosing. And do you know that fear or the ego is the wrong guide in choosing? So what does that imply? Well, it implies that you are to live by guidance. You are to live by guidance. You're to learn how to live by following your higher guidance. You're not here to figure things out. You're not here to figure things out. You're not here to figure it out. You are here to learn how to listen to your inner guide, the voice for God, the voice for the truth. There's a truth voice in you. It should be what guides you in making your choices. You need a guide to help you make the right choices. You need a guide to help you make the right choices. That's called the Holy Spirit. Do you know the Holy Spirit is what? Your guide in choosing. So what else is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is the part of your mind. What? The Holy Spirit is in the part of your mind that always speaks for the right choice. So your inner guide is in the part of your mind that speaks for the right choice. So you have a part of your mind that always speaks for the correct choice. That you have a part of your mind that makes correct, right choices. And that part of your mind that makes correct, right choices is called what? It's called the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is your guide. Your guide is the Holy Spirit. And what does the Holy Spirit do? Well, the Holy Spirit is your guide in choosing. And the Holy Spirit is the part of you, the part of your higher self that always speaks for God. And God is love. So the Holy Spirit is your guide in choosing. And where's the Holy Spirit? Where's your guide? Your guide is in the part of your mind that always speaks for the right choice. There's a part of you that always speaks for the right choice. So why is it that you have a part of you that always speaks for the right choice? Because that's the part of you that speaks for love. The part of you that speaks for God. The part of you that speaks for the truth. That's going to always be the part of you that makes the right choice. So let me see if I can, what the next line tells us. So what is the Holy Spirit? What is your guide? The Course in Miracles says, well, he is your remaining communication with God. So you have a remaining communication with your Creator. You have a part of you that speaks for the correct choice because there's a part of your mind that always speaks for the Creator, for what is God's will, for what is the will of love in you. And you can interrupt. Now, what can you interrupt? You can interrupt your communication with God. You can interrupt your communication with your higher power. You can interrupt your communication with God. Do you know that you can interrupt your communication with God? You can interrupt your communication with your higher guide. You have a guide. You have a guide. You have not been put in this experience without a spiritual guide within you. The spiritual guide within you is going to always speak for the truth. It's going to speak for love. It's going to speak for God. Now, the Holy Spirit is your remaining communication link with your higher power. You can interrupt your communication with your higher power. You can interrupt your communication with God. But guess what? You can't destroy your communication with God. You cannot destroy your communication with your higher power. You cannot destroy your communication with God. You can interrupt your communication with your higher power, but you cannot destroy your communication with your higher power. You can interrupt your communication and your joining with love, but you cannot destroy your communication, your joining with love. So don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Now, the Holy Spirit is the way in which God's will is done on earth as it is in heaven. So the Holy Spirit is the way that God's will is done in your life. And do you know that the Course in Miracles says that God's will for you is complete happiness? Do you know you have to get rid of the belief in a punishing God? You got to let go of any belief in a punishing God. There is no 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 punishing God. There's a loving, correcting God. But there is no punishing God, according to A Course in Miracles. You are not a sinner. You cannot be born in sin. Nothing created by God, nothing created by love is inherently flawed when it's born. So the Course in Miracles says that the Holy Spirit, your inner guide, the love in you, that's going to be the way that God's will, which is your perfect happiness, is done on earth. So listening to the right guide is the way you're going to experience the kind of happiness that your Creator wants you to have. People say, well, where is God? The Course in Miracles answers all those kind of questions, like why does it look like God isn't in the world? Or why is it that I don't hear the voice for God? How do I know God exists? How can I have a relationship with a higher power if a higher power exists? Well, the Course in Miracles shows you exactly how to do that. And it also tells you exactly why you don't see evidence of the unlimited blessings and benefits of the higher power in your life. So the Course in Miracles says, heaven and earth are in you. Heaven, which is perfect joy, is in you. And the earth is in you, because love is calling you and fear is calling you. That's the same as saying heaven is calling you and is in your mind, and fear is in your mind. Love is in your mind, fear is in your mind. What gives you peace and happiness and joy is in your mind, and what causes conflict, anger, guilt, and lack is in your mind. So where is love? Love is in your mind. Peace is in your mind. The freedom that you're looking for is in your mind. The voice, the answer, the guidance that you're looking for is in your mind. But do you know that the wrong thoughts, the fearful thoughts, the guilty thoughts, they are also where? In your mind. So if you want to hear the voice for God, if you want to hear the voice for love, if you want to hear the voice for truth, what do you do? If you want to hear the voice for God, what do you do? Well, the voice for God comes from your own altars to God. The voice for love and happiness comes from your own altars to love and happiness. Now, when I say altars, the Course says, do you know when it says altars, the Course is not talking about things. It's talking about devotions. So your altar is whatever you are devoted to. Your devotions are your altars. Tell me what you are devoted to, and you are telling me the altar that you kneel down to and worship. Whatever you are devoted to, that's your altar. Now, you have other devotions now. The Course in Miracles says, you know what, I need to let y'all know, you have other devotions other than to your higher power. You have other devotions other than to love and truth and God. You have other devotions other than your spiritual awareness and your spiritual awakening. He said, that's the problem. You got other devotions right now. So if you want to hear the voice for God, if you want to hear the voice of your guidance, then you need to be devoted. And what do you need to be devoted to? You need to be devoted to your guide. You need to be devoted to love. You need to be devoted to the Holy Spirit. You need to be devoted to the truth. All of these are the same things. But do you know the Course says you have what other devotions now? Okay, so what is it that your divided devotion, what is your divided devotion giving you? Well, if you have a devotion to love and oneness, but you also have a devotion to separateness, and you have a devotion to fear or separation, then do you know the Course calls that a divided devotion? And a divided devotion gives you two voices. So you have two voices, one voice you made up and one voice God gave you. Are you aware you have two voices that you listen to? One voice is the voice for love and truth, and the other voice is the voice for fear and illusion and what's not true. Listen to me. You have two voices because you have two devotions. You have a devotion to love and God, but you also have a devotion to separation and fear. And the Course in Miracles is saying to you, because you have two things that you believe in, separation and oneness, love and fear, innocence and guilt, lack and abundance, then that's giving you two voices that you're listening to. So what is it that you must choose? So what is it that you must choose? Well, you got to choose at which altar, which is a devotion. So you have to choose at which devotion you want to serve. So are you going to serve God, or are you going to serve yourself, your ego? Are you going to serve the truth, or are you going to serve illusion? Are you going to serve peace, or are you going to serve conflict and attack? So the call that you answer right now, what is the call that you answer right now? The call that you answer right now is an evaluation. And that means that the call that you answer right now is a decision. So you have a very simple decision to make. What kind of decision? You have a very simple decision to make. The decision is very simple. 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 You have divided devotion, and it's given you two voices. So you have to choose at which voice, you have to choose which voice that you want to serve. So whichever voice that you serve, the voice of the world or the voice of spirit, the voice of love or the voice of separation, that's a decision. Which voice you listen to, that is your decision, your choice. The voice you listen to, that's going to be your decision. You can listen to the voice of the past, your programming, your ego, your separation. You can listen to the voice of your conditioning. You can listen to the voices of the world, which the Course calls the voices of the dead. You can listen to the voice of dead people, or you can listen to the voice of people who are alive. People who are loving are alive. And people who are full of fear, anger, guilt, and grievances, in a sense, they are dead. So you have to choose. The decision is very simple. So you will make the decision of which voice you're going to listen to on the basis of which call is worth more to you. So what means the most to you? Listening to the truth, recognizing your innocence, recognizing your spiritual identity, or is it to just continue to see yourself as a separate human being in the world on your own, trying to make it by yourself, trying to figure things out? So which call, the call of love and the call of separation, the call of oneness and the call for separation, both of those are voices. You either can listen to the voice of the world, and you can listen to the voice that you see on the news and what your friends and neighbors and relatives are saying that's based on fear and separation, or you can learn how to listen to your guide for choosing, that voice that was given you by God. Your guide is inside you. You have an inner guide, a spiritual aspect of you. You have a part of you that's connected to the higher power, God. That part of you is supposed to be guiding you in the choices that you make. So why is it that you don't hear that guidance? Why is it that you don't hear your guidance? Do you know that the Course in Miracles says the reason why you don't hear your guidance is because you're listening to the voice that you have made up. You're listening to the voice in your head, that narrator in your head that's describing everything that's happening to you based on your past experiences and past learning. That's called the ego. When you listen to your ego, when you listen to the voice of the world, when you listen to what you've learned from a world that thinks it's separate, then you're listening to your ego. So which voice are you going to be devoted to now? The Course in Miracles is one way, not the only way, but it's one way to hear the voice for God. It's one way to hear the voice of truth that appeals to certain people, because there is no one form of the spiritual path that appeals to everyone. So there are going to be people that the Course in Miracles is really a wake-up call for them, and it thrills them and it heals them. And there will be a lot of people that the Course in Miracles doesn't make any sense to them. They won't resonate to it, and it'll just bring up nothing but resistance. But for those of you who resonate to what the Course in Miracles is saying, which is basically what I'm saying because I'm working directly with the material, well, it's telling you that, you're going to listen to the voice that's the most valuable to you. And so then Jesus of the Course in Miracles, the voice for the Course says, my mind will always be like yours. So your mind will always be just like the mind of Jesus, the mind of the higher power, the mind of oneness. Because we were created as equals. That means my mind and your mind, our minds have equal power. We have very powerful minds. You have a very powerful mind. You have a very powerful mind. And I have a very powerful mind. It's actually one day you're going to find out that it's the same mind. So the mind of Jesus, Buddha, all the masters, we are all tapped into the one mind, the same mind, because we were all created as what? We were all created as equals. We are equals. Everyone is an equal. Everyone is your equal. Everyone is your equal. But do you know that the voice for God, Jesus of the Course, says, but it was only my decision that gave me all power in heaven and earth. So it's only going to be your own decision that gives you the power. It's only going to be your decision that you get in touch with your power. Do you know that getting in touch with your power is going to be your decision? You got to make the choice that you want to get in touch with your power. Now, what is my only gift to you? My only gift to you is to help you make the same decision. What decision? The decision to join, the decision to listen to the voice of truth in you, the decision to follow your spiritual path. So what I'm here to help you do is make the same decision, the choice for love, the choice for your peace, the choice for your happiness, because your unhappiness is not being caused by anything outside of you. Your unhappiness is being caused by the meaning that you're giving to the things that are happening to you. The things that are happening to you are not directly causing the way that you feel. What's causing the way that you feel is what? What's causing the way that you feel is what? The meaning that you're giving to everything that's happening to you right now. Do you know that what's causing you the feelings that you have right now? Do you know that the way you feel right now is being caused by the meaning and the meanings that you're giving to everything that's happening to you and in your life right now? I'm here to help you make the decision that you're going to be devoted to truth, to love, to God, to your guidance. So this decision is the choice to share the decision, because the decision is the decision to share. So when you make the decision to love, you're making the decision to share. When you make the decision for love and God and truth, do you know that when you make the decision for love, when you make the decision for God, you're making the decision to share love, to share truth, to share peace, to share the decision. What decision? The decision to listen to your guidance, the decision to listen to the Holy Spirit, the decision to listen to the voice of the higher power. So how do you make the decision? Well, the decision to have anything, you have to share it, because whatever you give is what you receive and what you have. So if I want to have a relationship with spirit, if I want to have a relationship with love, then I have to share love and share the decision to listen to love and to listen to God. So the decision to share is made by giving. So giving is the one choice that does what? Giving is the one choice that resembles true creation. Are you aware? Are you aware? Are you aware that the Course in Miracles says to create is to give? That giving is creation. So whatever you give, that's what you're creating in your experience. Whatever you give is what you are creating and making in your experience. You're either creating or you're making by what you give, by what you share. Now, Jesus of the Course in Miracles, love is your model for decision. And so the Course in Miracles says, since Jesus decided for God, decided for love, then Jesus showed you that this decision can be made and that you can make it. I'm talking about the Jesus of A Course in Miracles, the Jesus that channeled the Course in Miracles. So that part of you, that loving part of you, that higher part of you is telling you that by deciding for love, I showed you that the decision to decide for love can be made and that you can make it. So what is the simple decision? The decision is this. What is the decision that you're being asked to make? What is the decision you are asked to make? What is the decision that you're asking to make, that you're being asked to make? Let me tell you the decision that you are being asked to make. Make the decision for love. Make the decision that you're going to have love. You want only love. Make the decision that you want to demonstrate only love, teach only love, have only love. Make the decision that you want to have only perfect joy, perfect happiness, and perfect love, and that's what you want for everything and everyone around you. Make the decision for the truth and say, I'm going to decide for the truth now. I'm going to decide for the truth now. And if the Course in Miracles is your path, the truth for you is in that material. So you need to be studying A Course in Miracles. You need to be doing the workbook lessons that are included in the Course in Miracles. That's how you allow yourself to listen to the guide. You see, if you go to listening to just the voices in your head, you're probably just going to be listening to the instructions and the information and the guidance that you are making up. And then what happens is that we make up our own guidance and then we say it was God's guidance. But it really wasn't God's guidance. It was really my guidance. But then I attributed it to God because I want to do it. So I'm going to say God told me to do it. But what the Course in Miracles does is the Course in Miracles teaches you very clearly how to tell the difference between when it's a decision or a choice or a thought that's just coming from your own ego and when you're really listening to a thought that's coming from God or higher power. You need a guide. You need a guide in how to choose. And the Course in Miracles says we need a guide in what to choose. So by deciding for God, by seeing Spirit, Jesus, truth, decide for God, then if one person can decide for God, you can decide for God. If another person decides for love, then you can decide for love. So this decision for truth can be made, and you can make the decision for the truth. You can make the decision that you're ready to look at things another way. You can make the decision that you have reached your limit, especially if you don't like how you feel right now in some area of your life. If there's some area of your life that you don't like the way that you feel and the way that it's going and the way that you see it, then you need to make a decision, a very simple decision. And that decision is that you are going to choose to learn how to listen to your higher power and your inner guide. If you walk away today with no other change of mind, that you're ready to go, especially going into this new year, that you're ready to commit yourself to your spiritual path at a level deeper than you ever have before, because it's going to be listening to your higher guidance that you're going to have the perfect happiness that you want to have. It's not going to come from listening to yourself. And by that, I mean that your little human self that doesn't know what's going to happen 3 hours from now. Stop letting the part of you that doesn't know guide you. Stop letting the part of you that's full of doubt and fear guide you. Because if that part of you was really the right guide, you would have total fulfillment right now. And everyone around you would have total fulfillment in your perception. And everyone that you could even think of would have total peace in your perception if you were really listening to the voice of the higher power. That's how you can tell if you're listening to the voice and letting the voice of God guide you. You have total peace, and anyone that you see has total peace, and even those you don't know, you will recognize their peace. So you can make the decision for love, and that's what you're going to do today. I want you to make the decision today that you're ready to have the kind of total fulfillment that is your divine right, because you deserve it. You deserve total fulfillment, regardless of what you think, regardless of what you've done in the past. You deserve love, and you deserve loving correction, not punishment, but correction, a loving correction. I have assured you. What is it that the Jesus of the Course has assured us? What is it that the voice for the Course in Miracles has assured us? It says, I have assured you that the mind that decided for me is also in you. The mind that decided for Jesus is also in you, and you can let that mind for love, that mind for truth, change you just as it changed him. There's a mind that can change you. There's a mind that wants to change your mind from a mind of fear to a mind of love. There's a part of the mind that wants to change your mind that's afraid and fearful and angry and guilty about some things. It wants to change that mind to the mind of love, to the mind of peace. You're not in this alone. You can't heal yourself by yourself. You can't heal yourself by yourself. You can't do this by yourself. But there's a divine mind in you. And do you know that that divine mind in you is unequivocal? So what is a mind that's unequivocal? What is a mind that's unequivocal? Well, a mind that's unequivocal is a mind that hears only one voice, and it's a mind that answers in only one way. So when you have a mind that's truly powerful, when you have a mind that is integrated, when you have a mind that is one, it only listens to one voice. The one mind listens to one voice. The one mind doesn't listen to two voices. So your divided devotion, listening to the voices of the world, but also trying to listen to the voices of the Spirit, has divided your mind. But when your mind is healed, your mind is unequivocal. So what does it mean to have your mind be unequivocal? It means that you are only listening to one voice. You want to get to the point that you only listen to the voice for love, the voice for God, the voice for truth, the voice for freedom, the voice for peace, the voice for innocence, the voice for abundance. That is one voice. There is one voice that speaks for that. Do you know that? What are you? What are you? You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. And do you know that the Course in Miracles says light means truth, means love? So you are the truth of the world with me. You are the truth of the world with me. What does it mean that you are the truth of the world? You are here to think differently from the world. You are here to think differently from the world. You are here to not believe that you are a victim. You're not here to support the idea that you are a victim. You're not here to support the idea that you're just a body that lives a certain number of years and then you die. You're not here to believe anything that the fearful, conflicting world believes. You are the light of the world. You're here to be love in the world. You're here to be an example of truth in the world. You're here to be an example of freedom and joy in the world. You are the light of the world with me. You are the light of the world with me. So where does true rest come from? If a person wants to finally have rest, where does true rest come from? Well, true rest comes only from waking up. If you want to be here and you want to rest, you want to be relaxed, you want to feel like not worried, not concerned, not afraid, that's what resting means. To rest means that you're not afraid, you're not full of anxiety, that you're not full of fear, that you're not walking around scared of everything and everybody, everything and everybody. So rest comes from waking up. If you want to rest, you must wake up. If you want to rest, you must wake up. Wake up to what? Wake up to what? What is it that you must wake up to? Wake up to the truth. Wake up to the fact that you are spirit, that you are an unlimited loving being. Wake up that you are more than you think you are. Know that you are an unlimited, lovable, loved being. Rest doesn't come from sleeping, but from waking. I say rest doesn't come from sleeping. Rest comes from waking. Rest doesn't come from sleeping. And if you think you're a body, if you think you're separate, if you think you're a victim, then you are asleep. If you are full of anger and grievances and unforgiveness, you are asleep. If you are sick, you are asleep. You're asleep to who you are. So the Holy Spirit is what? Well, the Course in Miracles says the Holy Spirit is the call to awaken and be glad. So that which loves you is saying to you, the Spirit in you, God in you, your God, the divine in you, the Holy Spirit in you is saying to you, wake up and be glad. Wake up and be glad. It's time for you to wake up. It's time for you to wake up. Don't you see what's going on in your perception? It means it's time for you to wake up. If whatever you're seeing in your perception that causes you any lack of peace, then that means it's time for you to wake up. Guess what? The world is very tired. What is the world? The world is very tired. What is the world? The world is very tired. Because the world is the very idea of weariness. Weariness and the world are synonymous. So you could substitute the word weariness every time you see world. So I came for the salvation or the healing of the world means I came for the healing of the weariness. We are here to heal the weariness. It's time to let go of your weariness because the world is the idea of weariness. When you focus in on the world and what it looks like is happening in the outer world, and that's all you give your attention to is the outer world, then it makes you feel what? It makes you feel weary because the world is the idea of weariness. So what is your task? What is my task? What is our task? What is our job? What is your job? What is my job? Well, the Course in Miracles says our task is the joyous one of waking the world to the call for God. So my job is to wake the world to the call for love. What does that mean? There's a call for love right now. There's a call for love. There's a call for love. What's needed right now is love. What's needed right now is love. The answer to everything that we're going through is love. It's peace. It's healing. It's unity. It's oneness. We are here to remind those around us. We are here to wake the world to the call for God. There's a need for God. There's a need for God. There's a need for God. There's a call for God. The world is 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 a call for love. The world is a call for love. This world is a call for love. It's a call for love. Everything that we're looking at, everything that we're reading, everything that we are experiencing, it's a call for love. It's a call for God. It's a call for love. You're sort of like the Paul Revere of the spiritual world. You're here to remind people that love is what's needed. Truth is what's needed. Forgiveness is what's needed. Correct perception is what's needed. We're here to wake the world to the call for God. So what is the good news? What is the good news? Well, the next line says, everyone will answer the call of the Holy Spirit. Eventually, everyone is going to answer the call for love. In the end, everybody's going to choose for love, is going to choose for oneness, and is going to choose for peace, whether it's in this life or another life. Sooner or later, we're going to all choose for God. You're going to choose for love. You're going to choose for the truth. You're going to choose for the peace. Everybody's going to choose for God. Everyone's going to choose for love. Everyone is going to choose for the Creator. Sooner or later, everyone's going to choose. Everyone's going to choose. Everyone will answer the call of the Holy Spirit. Because if everyone doesn't answer the call for love, then we can't all be one. We can't be one until we all answer the call for love. Love is oneness. Love is oneness. Oneness and love are the same thing. To say I love you is to say I am one with you. When I say I am one with you, I am joined with you, I am united with you, that is love. Love is oneness. So what better vocation could there be for any of us than to restore God's kingdom to the perfect integration that can make it whole. So what is your vocation? You are here to help restore what appears to be the separation, restore it to oneness. We're here to bring in the idea of oneness, unity, and joining. Because everything that we see, everything that we experience is a projection of the mind. Everything that you're going through, everything that you perceive is in your mind. How you see things, how you feel about things, that's coming from the meanings that you are giving whatever is happening in your life, and that's in your mind. So you want to be a part of restoring this kingdom. You want to be a part of restoring this kingdom to the perfect oneness that will make it whole. That's the only thing that you're supposed to hear. And who are you supposed to hear this through? You're supposed to hear this through the Holy Spirit. Where is the Holy Spirit? Where is your inner guide? That inner guide, that divine voice is within you. There's a voice for truth, a voice for God, a voice for the divine that is in you. The voice of the Holy Spirit, the voice of the loving Spirit is in you. And your real purpose for being on this planet, your real purpose for being in this dream is to teach your brothers to listen. Teach your equals to listen. As I'm teaching you, that's how you're supposed to teach your equals. Teach your equals to listen. Teach your equals to listen. Not through words, but demonstrate. Be a demonstrator. Show people what it looks like when you're a person that listens to guidance, who's made the decision that you want to be loving and you want to be a part of the healing instead of a part of the problem. In other words, demonstrate what it's like when a person is listening to God and listening to the right voice. Teach your brothers, teach the people in your experience to listen as I am teaching you, says Jesus of the Course. To teach is to demonstrate. To teach is to demonstrate. So when I say teach, I'm saying you need to be the love. You need to be the kindness. You need to show them what a being looks like that assumes responsibility for their experience. Show them what a being looks like who forgives and sees things correctly. Show people what it looks like to be a being that listens to only one voice, the voice for God, the voice for love, and not the voice of anger, and not the voice of grievances, not the voice of attack, not the voice of depression. You want to be a teacher. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You have a purpose. You have a purpose that is greater than just the little meaningless things that most of us focus in on all the time. You're here for more than just trying to get personal power, fame, money, and physical pleasure. Those things are not bad. They're not sinful, but it's not the real reason why you're on the planet. You're here on the planet to be the light of the world, to be the embodiment of love, to be the embodiment of truth. And that's only going to happen through you choosing to listen to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is your inner guide. The Holy Spirit is your guide for choosing, because you need guidance in how to make right choices for yourself. So the Course in Miracles says right now you're listening to two voices. You're listening to the voice that you learned, your conditioning, what you've learned from the world and what you've experienced in the world. But there's also another voice. Do you know there's also another voice for you to listen to? And that's the voice that was given you by your Creator. And I want you to know, your rest is not going to come from staying asleep. And staying asleep means continuing to believe that you are separate, or believing that you're guilty, or believing that you're sinful, or believing that you're bad, or believing that you're a victim. That's the same as being asleep. And a lot of our brothers and sisters are totally asleep. They're comatose. So what should you do when you're tempted to listen to the ego? What should you do when you're tempted to listen to the wrong voice? Well, call on me. Call on the divine mind. Call on Jesus of the Course to remind you how to heal. How do you heal? Well, you heal by sharing the decision for love and making that decision for love and peace stronger. So the more you decide for peace, the more you decide for love, the more you will heal, the more you will be an instrument for healing. And as we share this goal of healing, as we share this goal of love, what happens? Well, when we share the goal of healing, when we share the goal of waking up, when we share the goal of oneness, we increase its power to do what? We want to increase the power of love to attract the whole sonship. We want the whole family of God. We want all of creation to be attracted to the power of healing. We want all of creation to be attracted to the power of truth so that we can bring all of creation, all of the family back into the oneness in which it was created. So as we share the goal of love, as we share the goal of healing, what is going to happen? When you share the goal of love and you share the goal of healing, then you will increase its power to attract everybody and everything, and to bring everybody and everything back into the oneness in which it was created. So what is it you need to remember? You need to remember that yoke means joined together. And remember that burden actually means message. So let's restate that by saying, my yoke is easy and my burden light. We're going to restate that in this way. Let us join together, for my message is light. Let us join together, for my message is truth. Let us join together, for my message is love. Let us join together, for my message is freedom. Let us join together, for my message is healing. Let us join together, for my message is light. So when you're tempted to listen to the wrong voice, call on the Holy Spirit to remind you how to heal. And the way you heal is by deciding the decision for love, by sharing the decision to be loving, by sharing the decision that you want to choose for light and love and peace, and you want to make that decision stronger. So I'm going to do a quick recap of what I've covered in just a minute. I'm Earl Purdy. I'm a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com, P-U-R-D-Y, or you could use Zelle or Venmo or the Cash App, or you could also use PayPal. My email address, which is all you would need, is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. That's Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for giving. Thank you for sharing. I'm also available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions, where we will take whatever the issues are that you want another way of looking at, and I will show you how to apply the Course in Miracles and the truth principles to that situation. I'm also an astrologer and a numerologist for those who are also open and receptive to receiving information in that way. I also want to let you know that I do a hardcore Course in Miracles class on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, 7 p.m. Mountain Time every Thursday, hardcore Course in Miracles. And then on Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I do this Facebook Live Course in Miracles presentation also. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. I'm here to support you and I in making the decision for love, the decision for happiness. I have thousands of classes literally on YouTube that you can watch. I have hundreds of classes on my website that you can watch for free. And also I have hundreds of classes on Facebook that you can also watch and listen to at no charge. So your financial situation is no excuse in terms of being able to take advantage of the information that I'm sharing from A Course in Miracles, okay? There's plenty for everybody, regardless of your financial situation, that I'm giving, all right? So the truth is, are you ready to make the decision? Are you ready to make the decision for peace and to really get sincere about it? So let's look at the review. So what is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is your guide in choosing. The Holy Spirit is in the part of your mind that always speaks for the right choice. The Holy Spirit always speaks for the right choice. You have an inner guide. You have a guide. You have a guide in choosing. You have a guide. You have an inner guide. You have a guide in choosing. That guide is in the part of your mind that always speaks for the right choice. The part of your mind that always speaks for the right choice is the part of your mind that always speaks for God, that speaks for love. So you have the Holy Spirit, you have a higher power, you have an inner guide. And that guide is your remaining communication with your Creator. You can interrupt and you can mess with that communication. You can block that communication, but you can't destroy your communication with God. The Holy Spirit, your loving right mind, that's the way that God's will for your happiness is done right here on earth. Do you know that the voice for the truth within you is going to come from your devotion? It's going to come from your devotion to the truth. The voice for God comes from your own altars to God. And altars are devotions. So you have a divided devotion right now. You listen to the voice of your ego. You listen to the voice of your programming. You listen to the voice of the world. And you also have this other voice, the voice for love and God. So right now, whichever voice you listen to is going to be the voice that you think is the most valuable voice to listen to. If you think the voice of fear and suspicion and distrust, if that's the voice that you should listen to, then that's your devotion. That's your altar. But those of you who are tired of all this fear, tired of all this insanity, and you're ready to listen to a sane voice in you, ready to listen to the loving right voice in you, then that voice must be the voice that you are devoted to. That must be your altar. Now, do you know that it's the decision, is you're making a decision, and decision is very simple. The decision is to give these ideas, to share these ideas, to use these ideas. By deciding for God, decide for God, decide for God, decide for love, decide for truth, decide for God, decide for love. Now, I showed you that this decision can be made and that you can make it. In the same mind that decided for Jesus and every other spiritual master, you can also let that mind decide for you. You want a mind that's powerful. How do you get in touch with your powerful mind? You are the light of the world, so you have to be willing to hear only one voice. So study the Course in Miracles. Study the Course in Miracles. In the Course in Miracles, it has exactly what the voice for love, the voice for truth, how it communicates, and what it would say to you. So the Holy Spirit is the part of you that's calling you to wake up from your separation, to wake up from your fear, to wake up from this weary world that we think that we're in right now. You are here to be the opposite, to think the opposite of how fearful, guilty people think. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. So you have to teach people. So how do you teach people? You teach people by demonstrating the love, demonstrating the kindness, demonstrating the forgiveness, demonstrating the joy, demonstrating taking full responsibility for how you feel. So whenever you're tempted to listen to the wrong voice, call on the Holy Spirit, call on your higher self, call on your guidance to remind you how to heal. By sharing the decision for love, by sharing the decision for truth, and that makes the decision stronger. You are the light. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Who are you? You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Listen to me now. You are the light of the world. That's who you are. You are the light of the world. That's who you are. You are the light of the world. That's who you are. You are the love of the world. You are the love of the world. That's what you are. You are the love of the world. If love's going to be in this world, you are the light. You are the light. Be the light. Be the light. You are the light of the world. Listen to only one voice. The voice for love, the voice for God, the voice for truth. You have a guide. You are not alone. Whenever you're listening to your voice and not God's voice, how can you tell when you're listening to the wrong voice? How can you tell when you're listening to the voice you are making up? Well, whenever you're listening to the wrong voice, you can tell because you feel depressed, you feel like a failure, you feel alone, you feel like you're in lack, you're worried about something, you are concerned about something. If you feel any of those things, you feel separate, then it means you're listening to the wrong voice. Stop listening to the wrong voice. You're listening to the wrong voice. If you're sad, mad, depressed, unhappy, afraid, it means you're listening to the wrong guide. It means you're listening to the voice that you made up, the voice of the ego. You are the light. You are the light. Listen to this and watch this at least 4 times. Please share this video. Let's share. Remember, sharing and giving is creation. Giving is creation. Giving is creation. Whatever you give, you're making or creating. Whatever you give, you're making or creating. Whatever you share, you're making or creating. So, mighty companion, this is Earl Purdy. I love you. I appreciate you. You're a blessing, and I look at all your comments. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen live. And please share the video. Share the video. Boy, I needed to hear this. May the course be with you. You're welcome, Joanne. You're all very welcome.